Welcome to another edition of Oxford News This Week. On this special edition of Oxford News This Week, we send videographer Al Campbell as he captures Memorial Day. In our Behind the Lens segment, thoughts of sacrifice. And in our last story, an organization that has actually been serving our community since back in 1947. That and more on this special edition of Oxford News This Week. Welcome back to Oxford News This Week. Oxford Memorial Day's observance was a mixture of reverence, gratitude, beauty, and sorrow. Folks gathered in the downtown Centennial Park along with Washington and Burdick Streets and at the Ridgelawn Memorial Cemetery to pay their respects to the fallen Oakland County Sheriff Sergeant Rick Meza, a U.S. Army infantry and veteran who served in Kosovo and Iraq, did a splendid job at the ceremony as a guest speaker. White crosses in the downtown Oxford Centennial Park were actually set up the day prior by the Boy Scout Troop 366. Again, they set that up on Saturday afternoon. The Scouts spent well over an hour preparing this annual tribute to the Oxford residents who have died while serving in the conflicts around the world, stemming back from the Civil War, Vietnam War. Again, the honored dead are read aloud during Memorial Day commemorations in the downtown park area. Two special events took place again this last weekend, in relation to our last story, honoring the veterans from all branches of the U.S. Armed Services. For the local Memorial Day celebrations, the Lakeville Cemetery held their Memorial Day commemoration last Saturday, followed by Monday and the Memorial Day ceremony in the Oxford Centennial Park. OCTV was there among those who paid respects to our local veterans.
So today we honor the memory of those who have given their lives in service to our country. We remember their courage and their dedication and their selflessness. We also honor the millions of veterans who have served our country with honor and distinction and who continue to serve today.
So I would like to thank each and every one of you veterans and EMS and fire department. My heartfelt thanks.
There are thousands like me and thousands more who are gone, but their legacy lives as time marches on. White crosses in rows and names carved in Q remind us of what these brave souls had to do. I'm part of a fellowship, a strong, mighty band of each man and each woman who has served this great land. And when Old Glory waves, I stand proud and I stand tall. I helped keep her flying over you, over all. I am a veteran.
Today, as we gather to observe Memorial Day, we stand together in solemn remembrance and gratitude for the brave men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. As a veteran and a police officer, I stand before you humbled by the privilege of addressing you on this sacred day.
We owe a debt of gratitude to all who serve. But today, however, we especially honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Heroes who gave up their lives, their hopes, their dreams, and their futures for our country.
Once again, always saluting the ones who have fallen. Other news, the Oxford Virtual Academy held their graduation ceremony last week. That was held at the Performing Arts Center in Oxford at the high school. The OVA program is designed to serve students who are seeking a more flexible education schedule. The program features 24/7 online school, but it also includes seated classes within the district to provide in-person teaching experiences to the students when needed.
Welcome, graduates of 2023. You made it.
Being graduates of a virtual academy makes you trailblazers. Really, think about it. You chose a rather new and different pathway to get this diploma. That means you had to not only learn the course content, but you also had to take some risks. And you had to have the courage to overcome those risks and see them through.
While we pursued different passions and interests, OVA became the common ground that brought us all together, the stepping stone to our future. It provided us with a supportive community and an array of opportunities, including pathways to college, in trade, and the military, that extended far beyond of a traditional school setting.
Your time here at OVA is coming to an end, and you will head in many different directions. At the end of each day, I hope you will click your heels just like Dorothy, and remember, there's no place like home.
Having met all of the requirements set forth by the state of Michigan, the Board of Education of Oxford Community Schools, Oxford Virtual Academy Administration, and staff now confidently present the graduating class of 2023.
Once again, Oxford Community Television, OCTV, congratulating the 2023 graduating class of the Oxford Virtual Academy. There is a little bit of royalty right here in Oxford, and it happened on May 6th in a little town of Plainwell, located between Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids. Yes, DDA Director Kelly Westbrook, 35, was crowned Mrs. Pure Michigan. As Mrs. Pure Michigan in the late August, she will compete amongst 51 other women for the title of Mrs. America in Las Vegas. Now the wife and mother of two full-time, the Oxford Downtown Development Authority Executive Director, will go on to prep and get ready for the Mrs. America pageant again at Westgate Hotel. That'll take place in Las Vegas. Westbrook was raised in Oxford, graduated from Oxford High School. She was excited to share with the judges everything wonderful about her hometown. Aside from work and family and time volunteering, she is also co-authoring a book with Greg Ruffolo called Be Kind. The winner of the Mrs. America will go on to compete again in Mrs. World pageant. Again, we congratulate our own Kelly Westbrook. On the 16th of May, the Community Foundation of Southeast Michigan and Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation announced an $800,000 grant to 36 organizations throughout the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Legacy Fund. Some of the grants funds came from Oxford by the way of thanks to the Township Communications and Grants Manager, C.J. Carnacchio, who researched, wrote, and submitted the grant proposals back in December of 2022. According to Carnacchio, the design work for the 2,800-foot shared use path from Dunlap Road to Sanders is nearly complete. Once the segment is complete, the township will have a shovel-ready project. Being shovel-ready makes it a project more appealing as the township continues to pursue grants, donations, and other potential sources of funding. The foundation also awarded the Pollyant Trail Management Council an additional $50,000 for the design work to modernize the 16.9 mile of Pollyant Trail through Oakland County and upgrade the trail surface. The trail actually runs from Orion Township through Oxford into Addison Township and then again through Leonard, and then it will actually connect up to the Lapeer Trail. Something I should probably do on my bike, but I haven't. A neat program for trying to secure your home. Residential security lock boxes are now available at the Oxford Fire Department. When a person cannot reach to the front door, maybe due to an injury, illness, or disability, giving the EMS personnel easy access and spare key is literal a lifesaver. And that is why the Oxford Fire Department is now offering residents a secure way to make their house and keys available to the fire department. The way it works, the Oxford Fire Department personnel place a residential spare key in the box, then they lock it and hang it from the top of the door. Only the Oxford Fire Department has access to the lock boxes via the master key. This master key only works on the boxes in Oxford Township and the Village of Oxford. Again, to order a Roper, it's called the Roper Lockbox Complete. The online form is available at tinyurl.com. If you have any questions, make sure to contact Fire Marshal B.J. France at 248-969-9483. Georgie, looks like a 1.5-year-old Australian Shepherd mix, stopped by the township offices with her owner to, guess what, pick up a dog license. The energetic pup who loves people, really enjoys treats. Georgie is seen here finishing a delicious treat in the lobby of the township. Oxford residents Jim and Katie Armbruster adopted him in August of 2022 from the Almost Home Animal Rescue in West Bloomfield. Again, just this is a friendly reminder, dog licenses are available at the Oxford Township Treasurer's Counter, and that is located at 300 Dunlop Road. The Township Hall is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you'd like more information how to secure a dog license or anything else, you can always log on their website, oxfordtownship.org. A pickup driver making a turn in Oakland County on Monday morning actually ended up in a deadly collision with a motorcyclist. State police said the Memorial Day incident is prompting authorities and to warn other drivers to be, again, on the lookout for motorcyclists as the summer season approaches. You want to be careful. First Lieutenant Mike Shaw of the Michigan State Police actually urged, after the fatal crash being reported at 10 o'clock in the morning on the 29th, with a Chevy pickup, a 2002 Chevy pickup, and that was headed near the Holly Belford area, Holly Township. Made a left turn, the truck hit the motorcyclist, who was then not wearing a helmet. State police actually report the motorcyclist was again pronounced dead at the scene when authorities arrived. The deceased identity has actually been withheld until family members can get in contact. Truck driver, 66-year-old Novi man, was unhurt in the crash. Shaw warned drivers, some warnings out there: be aware of your surroundings at all times while on the roadway, especially in the warmer months when motorcycles are out and about. Again, the state police detectives are continuing their investigation into the crash near Holly. Again, just a friendly reminder that there are others out on the road and you should pay attention. In a related story, and according to the Michigan.gov, intersections are one of the biggest dangers for motorcyclists, and again, most crashes involving motorcyclists happen with vehicle drivers as they are turning left. As compiled by the state, some of the safety tips to remember, again, when they're out on the road as follows: 84% of motorcycle vehicle crashes actually happen on local streets, not highways. A common misconception is that most crashes involving motorcyclists and vehicles occur on the highway. Data actually showing that the large majority take place on city streets where a lot of vehicles are actually in motion. Always, again, assume motorcyclists are a lot closer than they are, and you can avoid distractions while driving. Don't rely on your ears. Double check your blind spots, and again, keep your distance and know their signals. Motorcyclists actually have signals. Often use their hand signals, similar to the bicyclists, to let others know of their intentions on the road. A right turn, again, signaled by a left arm raised, or a left turn straight out to the side by a stop with a left arm downward. Look for more tips. Again, you can find them at the Michigan Secretary of State website for additional information on how to ride safely with motorcyclists and even bicycles. Obviously, we have a lot of bicycles out there. Check out their website. And now in our Behind the Lens segment, as we so often do, we take a snapshot from the week and the many ceremonies honoring Memorial Day this past week. In our Behind the Lens, simply, we title this one, Thoughts of Sacrifice. Once again, our Behind the Lens segment of this past week. In our last story today, coming up, organization that's been in our community since 1947. We'll talk about them. Up and coming next, Dave Kenny will have Auto Talk and Science in the News. I'll be back for a brief look at sports. Again, you are watching Oxford News This Week on Oxford Community Television.
K9 Stray Rescue is Oxford's own local dog rescue. Call them at 248-628-0435 or go to their website, dogsaver.org, and click on the K9 Stray Rescue League link.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from Automotive News. Starting next spring, Ford EV owners will have access to roughly 12,000 Tesla superchargers via adapters in the first direct partnership of its kind between two competing electric vehicle makers. And starting in 2025, Ford Motor Company will stop building the its EVs with traditional combined charging system ports, replacing them with Tesla's preferred North American charging standard port, removing the need for an adapter. Widespread access to fast charging is absolutely vital to our growth as an EV brand, and this breakthrough agreement comes as we are ramping up our production of our popular Mustang, Mach-E, and F-150 Lightning and preparing to launch a series of next-generation EVs starting in 2025, Ford CEO Jim Farley said in a statement. Farley and Tesla CEO Elon Musk made the announcement May 25th on Twitter, and Tesla operates about 17,000 superchargers in the U.S., so Ford will have access to the majority of them. Musk, who also owns Twitter, said the partnership was something Tesla was super happy to support, noting he had a tremendous amount of respect for Ford as a company, and it makes great vehicles. Tesla already this year opened its supercharger network to other automakers, although it has only committed to opening 3,500 current and future charging stalls to non-Tesla EVs. To date, the automaker has only opened a handful of stations to non-Teslas. Musk said the price for adapters for Ford's EVs starting next spring would not be cost prohibitive and likely to be in the hundreds of dollars range. What remains unclear is how exactly Ford's current third-party network of roughly 84,000 chargers, including 10,000 fast chargers, would interact with Ford EVs built with the North American charge port starting in 2025. A spokesperson said it's expected that the third-party stations would eventually offer plugs that would connect with those ports, although it's unclear who would pay for it. Ford dealers, as part of a series of standards in order to sell future EVs, are required to build a number of charging stations. A spokesman said the announcement does not change those requirements. The Model E program was developed in consultation with our dealers and is designed to provide the best-in-class customer experience, the spokesman said. The equipment defined in the current charging standards fully supports Ford's existing CCS BEV offerings, and when used in combination with an NACS to CCS adapter, will support future Ford vehicles equipped with the Tesla NACS inlet port. It's still unclear whether the dealer would be required to provide the adapter or if the customer would be responsible for bringing their own. Farley said he developed an appreciation for Tesla's charging network while on a family vacation last year. My kids kept looking at me and saying, "Hey, Dad, there's another supercharger. Can we stop here?" And I said, "No, we have to go behind the other building," he said. It became obvious to me the job Musk's team had done and what it means to customers. Musk and Farley, who had as many as 115,000 listeners on their announcement, said they'd continue to explore ways to collaborate to increase EV adoption. The tie-up is notable given the pair's sometimes chippy past. But on the evening of May 25th, the two CEOs were complimentary of each other. "It's super hard what Tesla's done," Farley said. "I totally respect them to do that, to make a fully software updatable vehicle." Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Back with you on Oxford News this week. It's Oxford Sports. And again, the high school sports all finishing up. We will be covering some softball, the U12, U14 League, along with senior ball that can be seen here on OCTV. Again, that hasn't happened yet, but I look forward to that. Just something to be aware of if you have a student athlete. We take this from the Oxford Athletic site. Oxford Community Schools Department of Athletics 2023 summer activities and fall tryout information. It is mandatory and offered to build skill and confidence to participants, the summer program. The summer deadline is mandated. The MHSAA will be between July 1st and July 7th. Again, no activities can be held during that week. During this week, fall athletes who are wishing to participate in fall sports must complete and follow the requirements before the practices of August 7th of this year. You need to register on their website. It's the Register on a Prize website, which is due on August 7th. That so happens to be our manager's birthday. For fall participants on the web site below, the Oxford website, you have already to register, log on, re-enroll. Again, you go to the Oxford website, the athletic site, and hit the prize button, and you need to get your physical uploaded. Oxford schools will require new physical forms to participate in the upcoming school sports season. You must also have the physical dated no later than dated by the actual day of practice. You download that at a prize physical blank form before you go to the doctor. Again, upload your physical form after it's been filled out by the doctor. You will then be eligible to try out, practice, or do anything throughout the summer. Again, the best source is go to the Oxford High School athletic website, which is oxfordstrongathletics.org. Check that out. You're going to have to get that physical before participating in anything. Also, just a reminder, middle school girls that are interested in sideline cheer, don't forget the tryouts will begin within the next few weeks. Again, you check out their website, they'll let you know there. Oxford Middle School Cheer, this is for girls, 6th to 8th grade girls during the 23-24 school year. Again, you need to register at the Oxford Athletic website. Again, a short sportscast. Look forward to seeing senior ball and the U14, U12. We'll take a break slightly back after this. Dave Kenny's got something, and I'll have our last story about an organization that has been with us since 1947.
Hello, this is Lomas Brown, ex-Detroit Lion, and you're watching OCTV. That's Oxford Community TV. Check it out.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. A distinct group of antibodies appear in blood samples of some people with multiple sclerosis years before they experience symptoms. The antibodies could help diagnose people with the condition sooner, allowing them to begin treatment earlier. Multiple sclerosis, or MS, is an autoimmune disorder in which the immune system attacks the brain and spinal cord. It can take months or even years to diagnose MS, and as no specific test exists for the condition. This delays treatment, leading to worse outcomes as the disorder progresses. Other autoimmune disorders, like type 1 diabetes, can be diagnosed in part by screening for autoantibodies. While antibodies are produced by the immune system to help identify and attack pathogens, autoantibodies are generated against a person's own cells. Previously, no autoantibodies had been identified for MS. Colin Zemeckis at the University of California, San Francisco, and his colleagues analyzed blood samples collected from 250 people with MS before and after they developed symptoms. Samples came from the U.S. Department of Defense Serum Repository, which stores blood taken from U.S. military members when they enter active duty or visit affiliated healthcare facilities. On average, samples were drawn 5 years before and 1 year after people first experienced MS symptoms. These researchers compared these to repository samples from an equal number of people without MS, matching for age, sex, race, and ethnicity. They mixed each sample into a solution containing more than 750,000 protein fragments in hopes of identifying proteins that were targeted by autoantibodies present in the blood. The researchers thought that by comparing targeted proteins in the pre versus post-MS samples, they would find autoantibodies that arose after symptoms began. But that's not what we saw at all, says Demenchik. Instead, they found an antibody signature that emerged even before symptoms began. The antibodies targeted 54 proteins that were present in a subset of 30 people, 27 of whom had developed MS. And that signature is there before and after onset of the disease, says Zemeckis, which suggests it may be one of the earliest indicators of MS. He and his team validated these findings by analyzing spinal fluid collected from a separate group of 126 people with neurological symptoms, 103 of which were more or later diagnosed with MS. The signature was present in 8 people, all of whom had MS. We found that it's actually pretty specific for patients with MS, even if it only captures around 10% of the population, says Imedcheck. And this is still really useful. For instance, the signature could help diagnose MS earlier in some people, he says. If additional research in larger samples confirms this finding, Asif Harrell at Northwell Health in New York says it could help us further classify different types of MS or different causes of the condition. Additionally, the biomarker may determine people at high risk for developing the disease, he says. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
Back with you on Oxford News This Week, and in our last story today, the first mention of this organization took place August 15, 1947. I'm talking about the Oxford Lions Club. They were on page 4. The Oxford Leader buried 2/3 of the way down the page, and it was only a short 62-word article. Since then, the Oxford Lions Club has been a mainstay of service organizations in the community, helping area communities, helping area families in need, giving scholarships, and donating to other charitable causes. Again, starting the club will be out in the streets. They did that, their White King campaign, obviously over the Memorial Day weekend. Members were out on M24, Drainer Road, Washington, Burdick Street, Baldwin, and Oakwood, and Seymour Lake Road. Again, they do that on a yearly basis. They use that fundraising event to help other events and things that they do support. Oxford Lions Club, it was in the Oxford Leader. Again, that was in 1947. Being announced that they were going to be part of a Goodfellows campaign. The newspaper, they do sell that during the holidays. According to the club member Dave Borden, throughout the years, 90% of the funds that the Lions raise are actually put back into the community. They do make donations to 13 groups. They give scholarships to the Oxford High School. They work with Michigan the Eye Institute. They provide eyeglasses and eye screenings for area needy hearing aids programs. They also support the Paws of the Cause, and of course they are big supporters of the Leader Dogs for the Blind. They recently gave out a $1,000 scholarship to the Oxford High School senior. In the fall and winter, they provide holiday meals and gift cards. The club meets regularly on the first and third Thursday of the month. They do meet at Redknapp's American Grill, 2 North Washington. Again, if you're interested in becoming maybe a member of the organization, that's when they do meet. According to the website lionsclub.org, their vision is to be a leader in the community, humanitarian service. For more information, again, contact the Lions Club and how to join. Dave Morden at 248-628-1293, Pauline Morden at 248-941-5533, or even club president Adam Brandford. His number is 313-363-0945. Again, if you're interested in becoming a Lion and do some of the great stuff they do in the community. With that, we thank the news gathering sources of the Oxford Township Charter Facebook page. We also thank the Oxford Leader, the Oakland Press. We also want to thank photo credits going out to CJ Carnacchio. We also thank the Oxford Leader. OCTV can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191, Channel 99 on the ATT Uver system, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and even download the Roku app. Oh yes, I have that. Watch OCTV programming there. OCTV is also available for local groups for producing public service announcements. And if you have a show idea, or maybe you'd like to volunteer, give our office a call at 248-628-9658. Thanks to producer director today. She's doing it all today. We got to thank Terry Stiles behind the big desk. Videographer Al Campbell, editor Marissa Ruska, also program coordinator Dan Zweiss, program director Connie Miller, and our own station manager, the one handling it all today, Terry Stiles. For everyone here at OCTV, I'm Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe week. I do invite you back next time, and again, we will take a look at Oxford News This Week.